Hello and welcome to the Ending Body Burnout Show. We are your hosts, Chris and Philly, co-founders of a multi-award-winning functional medicine practice, serving busy people with energy, mood, and gut issues.
While busyness, addictive doing, people-pleasing, and perfectionism might be the norm, it's not normal, and it's a major contributor to health issues.
Our goal with this show is to give you a holistic root cause approach to healing your body so that you don't have to continue doctor or diet hopping or popping a gazillion supplements hoping something might stick.
So get ready to heal your body, get your spark back, deeply connect with yourself, and step into the life of your dreams.
Let's dive in.
Hello, everybody. It's Philly here on the Ending Body Burnout Show. I'm so excited to bring you an interview with one of our clients from the Ending Body Burnout Method. These are by far my favorite interviews on the podcast. It's such a beautiful moment to spend some time together with a client that has absolutely embodied our process inside our method and has got extraordinary results. So these stories are one part celebration for their success. Secondly, there's so many things that you can learn from clients who really go wholehearted and really embody the process. There's so much wisdom that they have to share, and I know Linda's got so many gems that I'm really excited for you to hear. And thirdly, I love these real life stories of clients because I call them evidence collecting, evidence that healing is possible. The more you can hear and see that healing is possible, even from the most chronic, debilitating issues, such as what Linda had, the more possible it can become for you too. If she can heal, I can heal. So I'm so grateful to the gorgeous Linda for coming on the show today to spread hope and healing with others. And I know that that is the main reason why she was brave enough to share her story as well, because she said if she could help at least one person either have hope or to dive in to the Ending Body Burnout Method or, someone else's healing protocol, because she's given them hope and inspiration that healing can happen, then a job well done. So when we first met Linda, she hobbled into her first consult. She had chronically high levels of inflammation to the point where she could barely move her joints. She couldn't even bend her fingers, and she really struggled to walk. She definitely couldn't bend down or squat down. She was in agony and her body was, stiff as a board. So she was really struggling with rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, scleritis, so that's inflammation of the eyes, anxiety, especially around health and trying to do everything perfectly and take all the supplements and do all the restrictive diets. She had gut issues, sleep issues, tinnitus, and so much more. So when I told her in our first session together that her issues were entirely solvable, which was a narrative she wasn't hearing from her standard medical doctors. They kind of got to the point where you're like, you've got an autoimmune condition. This is going to be you for the rest of your life. So here's a medication to make it easier to live with this. But I'm like, no, this can be solved. You can be remission. You can go into remission and be healed and be free of these symptoms. And when I told her that, her eyes lit up and she dove wholeheartedly into our method with the belief that she could heal, and the rest is history. So what you will take away from this interview today, and I want you to really listen to the way that Linda approached her healing. She was all in. She was just like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how this method works, but I trust you. I trust the process. And she felt like she was being pulled to work with Chris and I as well. So there was this intuition that she was trusting as well, that this was going to be the thing that got her out of this crippling physical and mental state. And she did. So anyway, I won't give away too much. We'll dive into the episode in a seckie. I do just want to say that if you're listening to this and you're like, I want what Linda has, I want to get the results, I want a holistic, deep root cause approach that goes beyond Band-Aid and management processes, our Ending Body Burnout Method program only opens doors 3 times a year. So it's November now. We do open doors at the end of January 2025. So if you scroll down to the show notes, there'll be a link there where you can pop your name on the wait list. The benefit of being on the wait list is that one, you get access to early bird bonuses, which are worth over $500 if you join before the doors officially open. And also, we only have limited spaces in our program. It's not a course. It's not a sausage factory where there's no or little one-on-one support. We have a semi-private and a private one-on-one option inside our Ending Body Burnout Method, and both of those options include one-on-one coaching and consulting treatment review consults, as well as unlimited one-on-one email support. Like, you are so supported, and that is one of the things that our clients love about our program in comparison to other things they've tried in the past where they kind of felt lost in the sea of other people. So yeah, jump onto the wait list. And also, if you're like, January, end of January, that's too far away, and you want to get started straight away, we do when the doors are closed to the method, we do open up space on my calendar to start off with the first step in the Ending Body Burnout Method, which is a connect the dots initial consult. We call this the answers phase. Essentially, I sit down with you for 90 minutes. I break apart your case history. I look at all the things that you've tried already, and we start connecting the dots. What's going on at a body systems level, and why is your body in a state of burnout in the first place? At the end of that consult, if appropriate, I'll prescribe lab testing. So there's an option there. If you want to start a little bit sooner, you can jump in for that initial consult, and the link is in the show notes. Okay, let's dive into today's episode. I'm so excited. Welcome everybody to the podcast today. I am so excited to have one of our beautiful clients, Linda, on our podcast today. If you're watching on YouTube, then you can see this beautiful woman who, like, literally every time I see her face these days, she's just a ray of sunshine.
Oh, thank you.
So shiny and glowy and happy and well, and she has the most phenomenal healing journey. And so I was so excited when she was keen to come on the podcast, because I know that, one, you'll learn so much and be so inspired by her, but also like learn how you actually really dove into the work to get some very remarkable results. And I think that will be really helpful for people who are on this healing journey to hear. Shall we dive in?
Yes, we should.
Okay. So let's start right back before you even started working with us. There were obviously some pain points in your body and in your life. If you can kind of just give the listeners a rundown on what that looked like for you.
Right. Well, before I contacted you, Philly, I just moved here from the Huon Valley, and had come through a really, really bad flare with rheumatoid arthritis. Mm-hmm. And it happened in July, and I moved here in November, so I'd gone through months of not being able to get even out of bed. So horrendous pain.
Yeah.
Stiffness, your whole body just freezes up, and movement is very, very hard in all your joints. And also through your muscles.
Even your hands, like your fingers were so stiff. Hey?
Yeah. And this flare-up even went into my hips and back, and very, very little mobility.
Yeah.
And we just sold our property in the Huon Valley, acreage, and I just finished up a volunteer role with Strength for Life in the Huon Valley, which I'd really devoted a lot of my time into exercising for over 50s. So I stopped that to help Gary pack, and we were like so excited. The property sold. We had our property here, and bang, I got hit with a flare, and I was in bed, and poor Gary had to do everything.
Yeah.
So I felt a lot of guilt. I felt, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened. I'd just gone through probably a good year and a half of being able to function from previous flares. So we got here, and I was it was December, and I thought, right, I really want to come through this, and I come across Billy and Chris, and I sent, like, it was amazing. I sent you an email, and I think got back, and we were doing join the dots. Is it?
Connect the dots.
And that was like happened so quickly, like within a week.
Yeah. And I think you'd even read the book before then too,
within
a day.
Oh yeah, I bought the book from Bonnie actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the first step.
Yeah. Awesome. So, okay, so you came in, and I remember as well that you were hobbling in. I'm going to use the word cripple. Like your body, your mobility and the way that your body was showing up was very extreme. Very extreme rheumatoid arthritis. There was also the anxiety. There was some heartburn, reflux stuff going on as well.
I had scleritis, inflammation in the eyes.
Yeah. Was that because of the rheumatoid arthritis?
That came in the flare in about October last year.
Yeah, right.
Never had it before, and my eyes went bloodshot red, and like very painful, and like you had grit in your eyes. So I was in another eye hospital.
Yeah.
So that was going on.
And the sleep issues, energy issues, all the things.
Definitely.
Kind of like all the things.
All the things. I had inflammation in the gums.
Yeah.
And, I don't think I could even close my fingers then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So things were not great at all.
No.
Okay. So then we started to connect the dots, and we started doing some lab testing, whilst also you jumped into the Ending Body Burnout Method as well and started working on the deeper root causes, which we'll get to in a seckie. But are you happy to share your results from the lab testing point of view in terms of what body systems were out of whack and linked to different symptoms? Do you remember?
Well, I do. I was quite shocked. Really low vitamin C and all the B group, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. And adrenal fatigue,
mitochondrial issues, low dopamine, serotonin, so your neurotransmitters really depleted. We chose not to at that time to do any major gut testing.
No.
I can't even remember why. There was a reason why. I think because you'd already done so many supplements and so many protocols that it's like, what are the missing pieces that you might not have addressed yet? How did that feel when you got the lab test results back?
Well, I felt relieved. Like I could see there was like root causes of what was happening within me. And I was quite interested because I'd been on so many supplements and I was on such a strict diet, an anti-inflammatory diet. And with that last flare-up, I really went to limited food.
Yeah.
And so to see, like, my vitamins were down. Like, I was like, wow, all this work I've been doing on a healthy body, and then it's not showing in these results.
Yeah. I think that's a huge one, especially for people who resonate with the way that we work. We're not just looking at the physical body, but what else is happening underneath at the metaphysical level. And it can be a little bit disheartening when it's like, oh, I've been on this health journey for a long time and I've done so many supplements and I eat healthy and clean, if not restricted. And what's going on? Like, why is my body not responding to these things?
That's right.
Yeah.
Because I had such good results when I went to a strict anti-inflammatory diet, eating whole foods, and then I could move my body. Yeah. And then I was so blessed that I come across this group in the Huon Valley, and I started Zumba and this strength, and I was moving, and I thought, oh, I'm on the right track. And then for my body then to like get into a flare like way worse than I even had previously. It was like, oh, there's more to this.
Yeah. Okay, so there is more to this.
Yeah.
There is more to this story. Okay, so I feel like 90% of your healing was the deeper metaphysical root cause work that you did through Spark.
Yes.
Yeah?
I have no
Becoming
doubt.
your own self-healer, learning to connect with yourself. I don't know if I've ever asked this, and I'm pretty sure you probably would have had this in your outlets, but why the flare with the move? Like, have you ever thought about that? That's so interesting that you'd recovered from past flares and you were doing pretty good, and then all of a sudden you sold your property.
Yes.
And
yeah, I think what happened, I created such a routine where I was exercising. I was doing 8 classes a week. I was treasurer, secretary of Strength for Life in the Huon Valley, and I really devoted a lot of time, and I created members. I think we started with 12 and ended up with 150, and I just loved seeing that grow, and I loved seeing the community coming together to exercise and get fit and telling my story. And then when we sold and I gave obviously notice that I won't be able to do it anymore, and then got home, woke up, and there was no routine. And then I sort of related to that. And then my body went, oof.
Yeah.
And bang, the flare came.
I wonder if it was a little bit of loss of identity too.
Oh, absolutely.
Where it's like, who even am I now? And
yeah.
then that then pressed on deeper wounds that were hidden. And then it's like, all right, well, yeah, who are you? Are we going to listen to ourselves or not? And then the body is so clever at sending us signals to get our attention to return back to ourselves and to who we really are. Okay, so when you started working through deeper root causes, like in our Spark part of the Ending Body Burnout Method, we first of all take our clients to deep unconscious core beliefs that are affecting everything. Your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your behaviors, and even the way that your body is responding to the world around you as well. What did that look like for you, and what did you discover?
Well, we started with present state, and I found the first part of Spark, which was really diving into what was going on in the body and going back, going back to childhood.
Yeah.
And that really even took me back probably another 10 steps. Like my pain went worse.
Right.
I couldn't take the supplements, if you remember.
Yep.
And it was really quite, I don't know if it was revisiting some trauma, maybe. And the other thing that we struggled with right from the start was I was on medication for the strong anti-inflammatory. So it wasn't till I got to a place where I went back and revisited some childhood moments and released some probably anxiety around that I started to see some results. Yeah. And I could come off the medication, and then my body allowed the supplements to work.
Finally.
Yeah. It took about 3 months for my body to accept these supplements.
Yeah. It's so funny because I think of the way that you progressed through, like in terms of like your body improving and your mental health as well. I actually feel like it was really fast. But probably during that time where it's just like, what's going on with my body? Yeah. Why is it like screaming at me? That can be like, yes, the present state as well is not fun because it's kind of like, all right, got to be real honest and vulnerable.
Yeah.
And look at all the dirty laundry.
That's
not so much initially from the past first, but just like patterns that are dysfunctional that are showing up for you.
Yeah.
And so that's not enjoyable. Not everyone loves being like super honest and saying, yeah, okay, I do have health anxiety and I do have fear around my ability to heal, and therefore I have to like be on a gazillion supplements or a restrictive diet. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, and this and this and this is showing up. I mean, maybe not so much for you, but you know, perfectionism or people pleasing patterns or whatever that is. And so looking at that can be challenging, and then going back into the past, well, you're kind of going back to examine the fear, like the monster underneath the bed, which isn't necessarily the events that happened, but the meanings that you created during those events about yourself.
Yeah, the beliefs. And what I discovered for myself going back to a very young age, I think even 4 or 5 years old, I just had so much fear. I was so scared and nervous, and I really disguised that, like through being very active in sport and my friends, and but deep down, I was really scared child.
Yeah, and I forgot to write it down. It was unlovable.
It was. Yeah, I was unlovable.
Like the deepest unconscious core root, which then makes sense that a child would feel fear in the world, that if I'm the kid that's unlovable, then therefore no one's going to think much of me or think enough of me that they're going to protect me. Protect me from getting hurt, protect me from the scary monster underneath the bed, you know, so that little child, and then you become an adult but you're still carrying these fears and these deeper beliefs which are holding on to the fear. It is scary.
Yes. Yeah, and that come out, I think I was around 17 when I started having panic attacks, which I didn't know what they were at the time.
Yeah.
So this is mid-80s, and I started when I first started work, left school, did secretarial college, and then started job in Commonwealth Bank. I was secretary in the city, and I was on the train, and I had massive panic attack, and then they continued. I'd go to doctors, they'd give me cough medicine because they didn't know what it was. I just thought I couldn't breathe, and so the panic attack started 17.
Yeah, right. Okay. Now, if we link that to you just sold your farm or the property, and you've just like built this beautiful community. I'm kind of like now looking, I'm sure we would have had these discussions and I'm like, oh, I love how everything's connected. So if you had a deeper, if you had a deeper unconscious core belief that you're unlovable, it makes sense that you actually found a lot of joy, validation building this community.
Yes.
But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's true.
So who even am I?
Yes.
Now I don't have that lovely community that was helping me to feel better about myself.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they're beautiful people.
Yeah.
And, that's right. So I think that was a big change, and I think leaving the acreage and the animals that I just adored was really, really hard for me. And we found beautiful homes for the goats and the sheep, chickens. But that was really quite a big decision.
Yeah.
And then going into, we want to come to a seaside village. I want to be able to walk out the front door, go for walks along the beach, heal my body, being close to the ocean. That was my vision. Yeah. And that's what drove us to make that decision.
Yeah.
But it was a big change.
Yeah. Huge change.
Yeah.
And you would have learned in Spark too. So like right at the end of the journey, it's like, hey, this isn't done once and you're well forever. It's kind of like with every new season or level of growth, sometimes things can show up again because there's uncertainty. So even like you'd done a lot of work on yourself, both physically, but also there was a lot of like inner work. Was it around finances or money or something?
No, it was just actually a lot of work on learning to love myself.
Yep.
Being my own best friend. And, that's been going on for about nearly 20 years.
Yeah, and it will continue because
it does.
You're in a marriage with yourself.
Yeah, and it's always evolving to new information.
Yeah. Okay, so you dug up all this stuff and you faced the monster underneath the bed.
Yeah.
Then what happened? Like, how did you reprogram the deep beliefs, clear past events, and also have extraordinary changes in your physical body?
Yeah, it all started then when we moved into the nervous system.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the first, what would I call it, a module?
Yeah,
Or
like
outlet?
practice,
Practice.
the 21-day rewire practices.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So Chris did a
Safety anchor.
Yeah, the safety anchor, so meditation.
Yeah.
And what I found was happening in that 21-day period of every day was a beautiful meditation, and I started to feel safe, and I started to feel okay, and I started to believe that my body can heal, and yeah, it was really like a miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember waking up at night and even my mind was saying over and over that I'm safe. And it just, something changed within me. Yeah. And I believe that what had happened with doing present state prior and revisiting finding my root cause or finding that I felt unloved and unworthy, that there was a lot of stuck energy.
Yeah.
And that had moved up, and I felt like I was in so much joy and bliss. Oxytocin?
Yeah, serotonin, oxytocin, yeah.
Coming from this centre, my heart centre. So energy had moved up.
Yeah.
I was feeling safe. I was feeling love for myself. And Gary's like, I've never seen you this happy.
Aww.
Never.
So cool.
Yeah. And, I go back and I look at some of my old outlets, like right from the start, and I think, who was that person?
Who was that person?
I can't even relate to it anymore.
Which is so cool. Like that is testament that you've embodied, implemented, and literally become the healed and in aligned version of yourself.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And it's just like, who even was that person?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there were I have one statement, one question. I think what was special about you, especially in like a beautiful way, but also like a way that you were so ready to let go of pain and dysfunction and beliefs, is that you just had utter trust.
Oh, yes.
Was there ever self-doubt, or like maybe not self-doubt, or maybe self-doubt, or even like doubt that could this work for me?
No, I had no doubt. I knew.
Okay. How did you know?
I just knew when I come across Chris and yourself that this was like the missing piece. This is it. I knew that it was all going to, I had such strong belief that this was my journey and what was meant to happen, and that flare up and everything was a blessing for me to contact you. Yes.
So there was trust, but there was also, this hasn't happened to me, it's happened for me.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like you reached out to us because you're like, get rid of these things.
No.
Although like I'm sure there would have been this would be really nice when this leaves my body, but it was kind of like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And this too shall pass.
Well, it got to the stage where I was just loving the process and loving how I was feeling and just waking up with so much joy and happiness. And then I was swimming, doing pottery. I was getting my life back, a new life, not life back. And it didn't even be anything about health anymore.
Yeah.
It wasn't about healing or a label of that disease. It was really about, oh, my God, I'm feeling so good.
Yeah.
And that's what was driving me.
Yeah. Which is cool. So it's less around being attached to the outcome and you're just being and living.
Yeah.
And enjoying that.
And
finding joy in that.
Yeah, it was amazing.
So good. I remember there were a few conversations when we were looking over treatment plan. I don't know, maybe it was something around food or supplements or different times where I'm like, no, Linda, you can eat that. Like,
That's right.
eat rice, legumes.
I was so scared to eat
Do
rice.
it. Not do it, but it's like it's okay.
Yeah.
And I remember you had this little like, and then you're like, okay, Philly, yep, I trust you. I'm going to eat the thing. And you just ate the thing and you had no flare-ups.
No flare-ups. That's right. And I just added all these beautiful food groups back into my diet.
Yeah.
And it was bliss. It was bliss. I was so happy to eat this amazing food. And poor Gary, who's been on bone broths and, really quite restricted diet. And now we're eating all the food groups.
All the foods from the planet.
Yeah.
And there was also, like, I think the supplement pattern was interesting too, because right at the start, I don't know, you were probably on 20 things,
I think it was
already
at least
that
20,
you'd accumulated over time.
Anything that said anti-inflammatory, I was on. Yeah.
So when you were doing the tests, you had to avoid them and you were freaking out, weren't you?
I was
initially.
I had to stop them 4 days prior to the test.
Yeah.
And nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
I thought I was just going to freeze up and not be able to move at all, but nothing happened. Then I never went back on them, actually. That was it.
Yeah, just been using what you need to rebalance those markers.
Yeah.
Just jumping back into when you were reprogramming, rewiring, did you have any resistance at that point, or the resistance was probably more at the start?
It was at the start.
Yeah.
I think it was really going deep down into some really, I think, energy that had been in my lower for years, decades of feeling of this anxiety, this pit, like always felt like a really strange gut ache. And it was there for as long as I can remember. And when that moved, that's when everything started changing.
That's so cool. I think it's important for people to understand that too, that yes, there are physical things that are happening in your body, but most of the time there's deeper metaphysical blocked energy stuff happening as well.
Definitely.
And so when you can release that, then you're well.
Yes.
Let's talk about like what life looks like now.
Oh, it's wonderful. I just have the most beautiful life. And because I'm so happy and excited about every day and all the new things that have come, like I'm attracting into my life, like it's coming to me.
Yeah.
I'm not actually going out forcing things to happen. Just beautiful things are manifesting.
You're a magnet.
Yeah, a magnet.
Magnet for a good life.
and I can see it in Gary too.
Yeah.
Like he's just so happy.
That was so cute at the end of the 6 month mark. When you came in and Gary came to the study or consult too, and he's like, what was that? You guys are putting your hands up. What were you saying again?
When we first met with you,
Yeah.
which would have been Connect the Dots.
Yeah, and I think Gary was a bit sus.
He
He's
came
a
in
bit
at the
suspicious.
end and he said, will Linda at the end of this be able to put her arms up?
Will she be able to go, yay?
And on the he come in on I think about 6 was it on the 6 month appointment, and he walked in with his arms up in the air. He was that happy.
Yay, Belinda!
He was ecstatic.
That is so cute. I love it. I can't remember what I said to him when he said, will Linda be able to, I think.
Oh, I think he said, will you be able to, sorry, I think, will you be able to help Linda? And I think it was actually you who said she'll be at the end putting her arms up. I think that come from you actually.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to read this. Now, this is, by the way, probably you wrote this as an email or maybe in our feedback form 3 months ago. So things have even got better and better since then. But can I read through your 1% miracles?
Yeah.
Because I just love it. It's so good. Okay. And every month Linda would email me an update as well, and you always called it your 1% miracles.
I did, yes.
And things just like the list just got bigger and bigger and bigger as
It's
time got
still
on.
growing, but yeah.
Okay, so heartburn completely gone.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the magnesium, but that's
Yeah.
anxiety gone, panic attacks gone, dizziness when turning quickly gone. My sleep is now excellent. The periodontal disease in remission. The inflammation in the eyes in remission, no longer there. Neck and shoulder pain gone. Heaviness in my shoulders now gone. I described it like an elephant is sitting on my shoulders. Chest pain, muscles gone, jaw pain completely gone, a feeling of calmness at all times. Energy feels stable, no high or lows. I have ceased taking anti-inflammatory medication. I have full movement back in both hands. All fingers have full function, no stiffness at all. And you're even now getting into pottery, which is super exciting.
Yes.
Would you like us to share your Facebook page for your pottery?
Of course you can.
I think it's so lovely.
Yeah.
Ringing in the ears has gone. Oh, actually, we had someone contact us. You're like, can your method help with ringing in the ears?
Oh,
I'm
mine
like,
just disappeared.
oh, yeah. No sign of any fibromyalgia. Pain in both wrists has gone. I can now wear my wedding rings again. I remember when you told me that, I started crying because I love those. Like it's those, it's actually not about being healthy and well or your body feeling good, but it's being able to do those things that are important. Where else? I forgot where I got up to. Mobility, walking 100% improved. Mild stiffness left in both knees, and that has just been getting better and better over the past months. I feel my energy is much improved. I have consciously started earthing and grounding. I'm now riding my bike. I'm swimming in the ocean. I'm going to the aquatic center 3 times a week. I'm line dancing, Tai Chi strength class, step class, walking 5 kilometers. My diet is no longer limited or fear of eating different food groups has gone.
It just keeps growing.
It just keeps growing. I love that so much.
So the body's just gone back into
homeostasis.
Yeah. It's just healing.
Yeah. So good.
Isn't it? And then
so good.
I don't know. I think in June I went and had a blood test and I was ecstatic because I was living with CRP at 100
super
for the
high.
last few years, 3-4 years, and it went down to 28.
Yay.
And that was more evidence of what was happening within.
Yeah, so cool. So what would you say was different about our Ending Body Burnout Method?
Definitely the testing for the root cause, so the adrenal fatigue, looking at rheumatoid arthritis as a label, but there's actually more going on for that to happen.
Yeah.
So I love that. And then the process of Spark, and it's unbelievable. It's such a journey. And the work, the outlets. When I went back and read my outlets, they were so raw and from the heart that what was coming out was probably something you'd never talk about, really. It's really deep information. So just getting that out and the trust with you increase. And then our Wednesday night group calls were always so special.
Yeah.
In the community.
Yeah.
All the beautiful people. Unbelievable.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay. If someone has been listening to this, well, they obviously have if they're now listening to me ask this question. Just to finish off the episode, if someone's struggling with similar things to you, inflammation, flare-ups, or just like stuck in body burnout, they're not doing so well, maybe they've had this thing going on for years and years and years.
Yeah.
What would you say, some advice to them, especially if they're feeling a bit broken, maybe losing hope?
Life's meant to be happy, beautiful, and seeing the world in such a different way now. And I just recommend to anyone, going through years of panic attacks. I was infertile, I couldn't have children. I was single for my whole 40s, or 12 years single, which was quite tough. And but now I can look back and say, wow, it's brought me here to really fall in love with myself, fall in love with life around me and everyone that I come in contact with. So do it. It's just such a beautiful experience. And, you'll heal your body, but you will also find this love and joy.
Yeah.
Which people look for all their lives.
They are.
Yeah.
And that's what they're looking for. So whether it's I don't want this anxiety or heartburn anymore, or I want to lose weight, it's actually not the loss of the thing. It's that they hope that that's going to bring joy and happiness. Yeah. So when you can, not just try and extinguish a symptom, but actually listen to yourself.
Yeah, I believe when you get joy, happiness, love, your body will heal. Yeah. How good is that?
That's so good, Linda. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing and just for your beautiful presence in this world.
Oh,
you definitely make it a better place.
Oh, that's so lovely. And you too. You've changed my life. Oh. I love it.
I've just been the guide. You've changed it.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you so much for listening. We so appreciate you. If you'd like to give us extra smiles, drop us a review and spread the love by sharing this episode.
You can also rate your own state of burnout and the root cause contributors by taking our Ending Body Burnout Assessment on our website. And if you're interested in learning about our group or one-on-one Ending Body Burnout programs, shoot us a DM via Instagram or Facebook.
Have the best day ever.